so it works much better. Okay, right now we are ready. Maybe let's just check from the side. I think the nose is quite nice. I think the eyes are quite okay. The ear are quite okay too. And I think it's the right time for now to start doing a retopo. So I will be switching screen for the retopo part because I'm usually doing it with a mouse, and here I'm on the Cintiq for the sculpt. So let's do that quickly. It will be a slight hiccup in the recording, and then I will show you my setup for the retopo part. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to set up this file to be ready for the retopology of my character. So what I will do is I will first make sure that I have a correct name. So I will call this sculpt, I will call this eyes, and I will put everything in a collection by pressing M. Move from local view. Well, apparently I've Control M. Sorry, no, it's M. It should be M. Remove from local view. So I've messed up with my shortcuts. Let me look at the key map. Let's press the key binding and press M. And I think I've added move to layer. I've added vertex paint. Is it that? Oh, sorry. I need to go out of local view. Okay, sure. And now M and new collection, and let's call this sculpt. Okay, and press slash again, and now I want to be in the center of this mesh, so press Shift S, cursor to selected. Let's add some geometry. Let's add a quad in this context, and add enter in edit mode, add a cut in the center, remove the side part, and let's press Q and add a mirror. So if you don't have the mirror modifier in your quick favorite, you can add modifier and right click over there and add it to the quick favorite. And in edit mode, I've also added the clipping option in the quick favorite. So you can see here I have the clip, which basically enables this part. Okay. So now I can bring this forward. Let's press make sure we are in median point for the cursor. It's comma key and median point, semicolon key, sorry, and median point. And I'm going to be ready for the retopo. So for the retopo, also what I want to do is instead of being in matcap, I want random color or single, or in fact, I'm going to go in Studio, which is going to be best, I think, like that. And I want this object to have a material that will be, for instance, bluish, or something like that. And I want to display the wire, so I'm going to press Q and display wire. If you don't have this in your quick favorite, again, it's in the viewport display while selecting the object, and you right click on this option and you add it to the quick favorite. And also in front, so I'm going to add in front. Again, it's there, and I've added it in the quick favorite. And so now I will be ready to deal with my topology. So you can see that there is this sort of slider over there that's quite interesting because it enables you to fade out the non-active geometry, so you can remove it if you don't want it. I'm going to add a little bit of it, and also I want to deal with the back face in the viewport display. So I think it's over there, and I want back face culling. So I will be able to see the front side of the polygons and not the back side, which is cool. Next thing is to enable snapping. So the shortcut for that is Shift Tab. And I also want to snap to the face. I want not backface culling, but I want align to project individual elements, rotate and scale. I'm pressing Shift in order to select multiple. And I think like that, when pressing, when moving and doing something, I'm ready to snap to the correct geometry, which is quite nice. Okay, so now For the retopo, let me also, by the way, right click and join the timeline. And for the retopo, it's going to be quite easy. I'm going to maximize this space by pressing Control Space. And you know what? This is quite hard to see, so I'm going to remove the fade like that. And for now, the only thing I want to do is to extrude the different faces. Let me see if adding cavity could help to see the volumes a bit better. I'm right-clicking the objects and adding the smooth. So apparently cavity is not really nice. I want the valley, sorry. Let's try with rolled or both. So it increases the zone. It's like a fake ambient occlusion, as you can see. And I think this can be interesting for us. I'm gonna remove the ridge, or like, yeah, I'm gonna try something like that. Okay, just to have a much more interesting view of the thing. So now what I'm doing is that I'm right-clicking while pressing Control in order to add the first loop that we want, and the first loop that we want is called the mask. So the mask is basically going around the face and is going to help me define the shape of the eyebrows, of the eye, and basically many places that will be quite important for the later connection and of the different facial features. So now I can maybe define the jawline. So let's add one more cut over there, maybe one cut over there. This is going to be an animated model, so I'm not going to bother myself with the density. I'm going to reach for a medium poly character, so it's going to be alright adding some cuts. Okay, so let's add the jawline. So I've extruded the side plane, and now I can extrude follow the jawline like this, making sure I have enough topology to do that. Something like that will be fine. Then I will extrude the top of the nose like this until I can separate it. So I will be able to over there extrude another loop that will let me add one cut over there, and I press G to project it. And there I think I'm gonna add a loop like this. So one tool that I'm using a lot is the F2 add-on. So if you don't have it enabled, you can go in add-on, press type F2 over there, and you will be able to enable it. And this add-on is super cool because when you have an angle like this, you can select the vertex that is in the corner, and you can put your mouse in the direction where you want to generate a face, and you press F, and it generates a face. So here, if I want to redirect the flow, I can extrude a vertex, select this one, and press F, and as you can see, I can generate quickly a face that will enable me to go down here, down the face. So I can do something like this, for instance. Okay. This is the loft line, which is a quite important landmark regarding the topology. And one other thing that I usually want to have in my mesh, but it's very particular it's very specific, sorry, is I want a loop that connects the side here of the nose. So I'm going to add it, and that follows exactly the same loop, the same pattern than this one. So I'm gonna make a small space over there. I'm going to connect things a bit, and then this is going to be very small, but this is going to be quite important to define some of the space that we have over there. And for later on, if we decide to animate this character, and so therefore to create a facial rig, we'll have much more definition on the corner of the lips. So I'm going to to do that. Here I'm going to close the face. So in order to close the face, you know that using Blender you can select an edge like this and press F in order to generate a new face. So here I'm going to press F, 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 and you can see it generates the full loop, which is quite nice. So over there, like I have the loop that goes around there. Here, this loop will come on top of the nostril. I know I will be able to add one more, so let's add one more for now, and let's try to separate the nose as one piece. So I'm going to go around here the nose topology, something like that, and basically this loop is going to go around the nose, just separating the nose into its own piece. Okay, you can see that this separates the area of the nose, this separates the mask, this separates the loft line, this will basically join back to the nose, and we'll have a similar loop for the mouth. Okay, later on when we'll deal with the mouth. So basically for now I can fill there, and maybe, you know what, I'm gonna extrude one piece there that I can connect there, and this will I can maybe already join this by pressing M and at last, and I can already maybe start to expand this loop a little bit more in order to prepare to add one more loop there. So I can extrude, not extrude, but I can expand this loop, scaling, moving it. I know it will snap, and I can already add one more loop, and this loop I can go in a view where I see all the vertices and press G in order to project it. Okay, so adding one more cut over there will lead me to a closed piece, so I can close the geometry there. And here I'm pretty sure that I can easily now generate the faces that will go down, as you can see, the nose, and I can close the gap. So that's quite nice. Let's temporarily remove the visibility of the mirror modifier so it's easier to see there. And now I know that I want this kind of shape for the nostrils. So here I think I have an issue regarding the faces. No, apparently it's okay. I don't know why it's way bigger in terms of, it's maybe the cavity option, so I'm okay with that. So one thing I want is, like, for the nostrils I want another separation there, so I'm gonna do that, and at this point there I know that this goes inside, so I will extrude a loop that goes inside, okay, and that comes back toward the center. So here I can add two loops by pressing Ctrl R and scrolling the mouse wheel, and then I have this loop that that goes around basically the nostril, the wing if you want, and that goes toward the center, which is alright. So now I will extrude this line that goes toward the center of the nose, and I will have to define the plane, the bottom plane of the nostril, and we'll do that soon. Okay, but before, maybe I can merge those two vertices by pressing M, and then I can add another vertex by pressing Ctrl R, and I can join maybe this. Here I can join this, adding another vertex by pressing Ctrl R. I can add one there, selecting this edge, and I can fill the missing pieces over there. So now here I know I will need to close the gap, so it won't be that easy for now. So let's bring maybe one more cut on the nose there. I can project it by pressing G, and usually you have a lot of cuts in the center because it defines the center line, and it spreads on the top. So here I will be able to have much more topology for joining the nose and the center line, which usually I like to have that. So adding two cuts, I can project them again by pressing G, And here from the bottom, like you see the projection like was not well placed. But for now what I can do is, maybe I will come back later on, but for now what I can do is I can already close the gap for the bottom plane right there. Maybe I can extrude using the F2 add-on some new loops like this, following the border of the nostril. Okay, so this goes over there, this goes there. Okay, and for now, even though it's not perfect, I think this is good enough so we can progress. So I can generate other faces there, maybe closing this one. And there, I'm not super happy with the way it goes. So maybe I can add another cut. Maybe I can join those two vertices together. And here I can solve the puzzle like this. Okay. So this is I think the topology of the nose right now is okay. It's not ideal because like I really like this flowing toward the center, which is like usually what happens from an anatomical point of view. But I think we have to move things around a little bit more to have like a better control of the shapes. But for now, I think it's good enough. We have enough information to generate the next step. I'm gonna add a cut over there because this is going to define the crease on the top of the nose, something that is very Disney-like, to be honest with you. And now I can close like this, and like this, the top of the nose, which looks alright. And if I ever need to have much more topology on the top, I can do that. Press G to project it, and again, because I didn't sew that, I need to bring it back toward the center. And as you can see now, here it happens that I have a nice topology, I think, for the nose. We're gonna probably fix some stuff later on, but at least for now it's okay. So here, if I'm selecting this, you can see I have 9 vertices in the bottom, which is not ideal. So I can add one more cut there, flowing to the center. I can maybe press G twice to flow back this toward the center, toward the top, sorry. And now I can find a way to close this. So to close this, I'm gonna basically do that, and I think that for now it's going to be alright. So let's select this, press I, G. So I will basically do an inset, and G will do the projection, the usual projection that we have. Okay, so for now I think that this is fine for the nostril. Okay. So as you can see, we managed to control the topology of the nose at a very specific location, which is nice because let's isolate this back and remove the in front, not the in front, but let's hide for a moment the view over there, and let's shade smooth this. You can see that when adding a subdivision surface, we have the right volume for the nose. Okay, we have the right crease, and this is super cool because we still were able to maintain the shape without any trouble, correctly with the right amount of density for this polygon, for this area. Sorry. So the next difficult area will be the ear, but we're going to deal with that later on. But let's finish the mouse for now. So the mouse, usually what I'm doing is that I'm extruding some stuff directly like this, and one way to do that actually is to select everything, to scale the loop. So I'm selecting the loop by pressing double click because I'm in the emulate 3-button mouse, because I have the emulate 3-button mouse option, as you remember. Or the other way, if you don't have this option turned on, is to press Alt and left click to select the loop, which is the old way of doing that. Okay, so let me bring that here, and we'll have to over there smooth things out for the loop. but for now I'm just placing the direction of the mouse. And here I can go in sculpt mode, and pressing shift I can smooth the loop a little bit, but this is not going to snap to the geometry below, so you have to remember that. But this is going to help me redirect the flow of my loops in an easier way. And then I come back, select the geometry that I've touched, and press G to project it back. Okay. So I'm quite happy with the way we are right now. So now the things that I need to do is probably lower down this piece and add one more cut that I can integrate by pressing G. And maybe here I can select everything and smooth a little bit by pressing Q and smooth. And if you don't have this in your quick favorite menu, you can right click. While being in vertex mode, you can add the smooth vertices option. Okay, and now when you press Q, it's there. The cool thing is that even when you're in face mode or in edge mode, you can still press Q and the option will still work. Which is not the case, which apparently the option doesn't exist in edge mode and in face mode. So now I'm going to again simply extrude, select this loop and extrude it, and maybe instead of extruding it, I'm just going to scale it on the z-axis, okay, to make it to make it to put it at the right location, something like that. So here it's going to be very tight, okay, but this is normal. This is the area where things are quite tight, the corner of the mouth. And one thing that I want is I want a very symmetrical number of vertices. So here I'm going to slide this loop by pressing G twice, okay, but I'm going to rotate it a little bit like that. And I want to have another loop that basically joins the top and the bottom vertices. So adding a new loop there. This one is quite aligned. Now I want to move this one there. And 1, 2, 3, as you can see, I need to add 1, 2, and 3 loops over there that will basically mirror the top ones. And one thing that I can do is I can go in mirror mode over there. I can press N, and in the tool, not N, sorry, I can go in the options over there, and I can use mesh boundary. I can remove the mesh boundary options, so I can now manipulate the boundary of my topology, and I will basically spread, as you can see, the loops so they fade out, which is a nice way to do it using the sculpt mode. Okay. And because I've moved too much things, I can also use now the shrink wrap modifier, and I can use the sculpt, and you can see it shrinks everything to the mesh, and I can press Ctrl A on top of the modifier to apply it. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to connect those pieces together until the end, and you will see you will have a triangle, and then I will add a cut that I can project by pressing G once. And now what I can do is I can select this loop and press V to disconnect it, okay? And I can, in this context there, I can merge those vertices together like that. Or you know what, instead of that, I'm going to press V to disconnect my vertices together, press M there, and this loop shouldn't connect to there, so I can press V again, and V again, sorry. So let's remove that, and let's press the F2 add-on to generate. Basically what I want is this loop connecting to this one. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm going to do. So I want this to connect to this one, so let's connect it. And what I've made wrong is, okay, so I have an issue. When I have an issue, usually what I do is I destroy things and I redo it. So I know the top one is going to connect to this one, so this is what I'm going to do. And I know the bottom one, the top one over there is going to connect with the bottom one. So I have this and I have this, okay? So now that I have my proper loops for the leaps, I can still add some loops there. And let me polish the loops around. I'm gonna try to pinch everything there, but before doing that, I'm gonna smooth once, press G to snap everything. And I'm going to use the proportional editing, but the connected one, pressing Alt O. And this will help me move things down a little bit and redefine the, it's like a grab brush if you want. And this will help me redefine the shapes that we've done in sculpting. Still making sure that the lines align correctly. And you can see also like how we have the center line that we should redefine in terms of shape, like a M shape, okay, which works now much better, as you can see. So I think that for now, regarding the topology of the bottom part, we are alright. So let's move to the side and the eyes. Okay, so pressing Alt O, and Alt O to disconnect the modifier, the proportional editing. Sorry, what we can do right now is to try to connect the things on the top. So one thing that I can do is maybe I can bring those vertices together, pressing M, okay, and trying to have a better flow toward the eye. So you can see how those lines are connecting to the eye, which is nice. Okay, I will have to open a bit more this piece. And here I truly believe that I need to add some lines, so I'm going to add a cut, and this is going to be perfect because this is going to follow the shapes that I want. Maybe I need to add more cuts over there to define the jaw much better. So here I have 3 vertices that I can add, 3 cuts that I can add. Why? Because simply I'm going to be able to join them like this. 2 cuts over there. Again, I can join them like this. Maybe here I will have a pull, so I'm going to extrude and do something like that, because here I know that I will be able to separate the flow. So this is going to go that direction, but the mouse from the corner, it's going to flow back there, which is going to be good. And it's going to avoid having too much stretching. Here I can extrude, When I say extrude, actually it's not extruding, it's generating the face. And here I can add 1 cut, I can slide this one, maybe I can select this one, and press G to move it. Let's connect this one, adding a cut over there, and you can see how this puzzle is being closed properly. Let's add a bit of smoothing with those faces, so I can press 3 to go in face mode and smooth a little bit, maybe not the bottom one, smooth, and press G to snap everything back. And there I think that I will need to have much more loops there, so at least 2. So I'm gonna add 2 loops there and probably 1 more loop there. Again, we're not dealing with a game topology, so I'm okay with having more geometry. I wouldn't approach a topology for game in that way, but with the same idea, at least with the same concept of loops, but not with the same amount of topology. But here I'm saving some time. And I know that here you see the loops. Probably this one is going to flow. Probably this one is going to flow there. This one is going to flow there, and you see how I have like two cuts. So 1 cut there that's going to connect to this one, 1 cut there that's going to connect to this one. Here I see a flow that calls me over there that I can bring. here I see a flow there. Here I can add a cut that I can place, and maybe one more over there. And let's try like this, and you can see how this can flow. So we have this loop that I think I'm gonna connect to this one. So let's do that. I'm gonna connect this one to this one by just an edge, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna add by pressing Ctrl R, 1, 2, 3, and 4 cuts. And then I can close that pretty nicely. And 1, 2, 3, and 4 cuts. And let's try to, and one more to connect the things. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and one more over there, and here I can finish the things like that. The thing like that. So this is one way to do it. So this is too tight in this area. So what I can do is I can smooth everything multiple times, and then using the sculpt mode, I can push that back. Maybe before doing that, maybe I can push this line a bit back. Like this, and here I can select everything and smooth things. Smooth things multiple times, bringing back this area to the back. Just to say it, because I think it's really interesting. There is an add-on that is called Smooth Preserve Brush, I think, that enables you to grab while snapping, while maintaining the volume of your mesh. This is a super cool add-on that costs like I think $7 or something like that. I really encourage you to buy it if you're into retopology and into modeling a lot in Blender, because this helps preserve the volume in a very nice way of your mesh. So you can see that here I'm getting, I think, a nice flow. I've controlled the pole over there. Here I have a pole too. Maybe I'm gonna slide this geometry down, something like that. I'm going to try to dive more and more toward the top of the head. Let's do the eyes. So I'm gonna extrude or generate those faces there, and then here you can see how from this point I'm able to extrude this full loop, and I'm going to directly place the corner of like the shape of the eyelid, which usually is a good thing. Like in topology, when doing retopology or topology directly, you want to align things first and then fill the gap. So here I know that this flows to the back, so I can scale it and make it flow to the back. Let's move it like this. Let's align some stuff, some lines better. So what I'm looking at is this loop, this loop, this loop, this loop, this loop, this loop. Basically, I'm looking at the flow and how everything flows together. Okay, so going back there, making this nice shape flowing to the center. So you can see I don't care about like the loops for now. I'm only caring about placing the outer side of the eye, something like that. Okay, and now I need to care about like having more geometry on the top, because I know I will need to mirror. So this is going to be mirrored, this is going to be mirrored. Maybe I can bevel this loop by pressing Ctrl B. This is a nice way to generate a new loop in Blender. So this is approximately there, maybe one more there, It's okay if it's not perfectly symmetrical in terms of loop, but at least you got to have the same density, the same approximative density. So you'll be able to, when you close and when you rig the character, to have a nice, at least the same amount of volume around this eye. Okay. So now that I have this, easy stuff, I add some cuts, press G to project them. Okay. I can even now follow the inner loop. So one way to do it clearly is to hide some loops. And here I can simply be sure to project this loop to the right location. Same thing over there. Pressing Alt-H to make everything come back. I can add another one, pressing G to project it, another one there, pressing G to project it. And you can see how it's easily controlled around the eye. And now that I have this, I really want to slide some loops to make them less tight over there. So pressing G twice helps me a lot doing that. And also going in the sculpt mode, I can smooth things by pressing Shift, make the inner loop tighter over there, and I can add one cut over there to make the edge of the corner of the eye even more straight, pinched. Let's do that. You can see multiple colors there. It's because it's the face set of the sculpt mode. Don't care about that for now. If you want to remove them, you can go in the, I think in the face set options over there, and you can say randomize color, not randomize color, but you can initialize by loose part. This will remove the face sets, so something like that. And you can change the randomize color if you want to have a better color, a clearer color. Let's press smooth a little bit, and now I will still need to add a new shrink wrap modifier on top of this mesh and apply it so it snaps back all the things that I've added on the mesh. So here we are quite good to go, I think. The next few things that I will... Here it's still a bit too stretched, if you see, there and there. I'm not a huge fan of this area, so I'm gonna try to do something to manage, maybe to bring the pull higher. So let's do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to do this at least. So one way to do it is to add another cut on that flows back to the eye, which is a possibility, maybe a nice one, because I will be able to define more things near the nose. And this will flow like this, so I can add more geometry there, and so this has to flow back there. So let me press V, or at least delete this face. Okay, no, was not a good idea. So I'm gonna do that again, A small issue over there. I know that I need this to flow in the right location. So maybe, you know what? Maybe it's the right time to delete some more faces. I know that this can come there. Maybe I can do this. So I know this will come around the mouse. This will come there and there. And this can merge to this one. And here course this is not working. This should go down toward the center, but I don't want to add another loop. Maybe I can bevel this. Maybe I can bevel this temporarily, so this goes down, and here I can generate this, and here you can see how I'm screwed. So maybe in fact, you know what, maybe pressing Ctrl and double clicking there allows me to come back to where I was. This is an interesting puzzle. So one way to solve a puzzle like that while dealing with topology is to try to collapse some loops. So here I've collapsed this by pressing Ctrl and double click to select the loop and collapse the loop. It's in the delete menu, by the way. I have this loop, I have this loop, this loop. This is going fine. I think I've solved the issue, or at least I'm back to where I was, I think. So okay, I think I got the things right, at least for the amount of polygons that I want. Yeah. Okay, let's stay like this. Maybe we'll have to rework a bit some shapes later on, but for now at least it's okay. And let's try to do the topology of the ear right now. So the topology of the ear will be, for now I'm going to disconnect everything from the head, and I will basically try to follow